All right, welcome to another episode of Tormenta Talk, the podcast for West Texas FC supporters group, La Tormenta. And today we had a reminder of why we call ourselves La Tormenta. It was a straight up haboob in Midland. And I drove through probably half of Monahans just in my little 10-minute commute back and forth to work. But how are you, gentlemen?
Doing well, staying out of the wind.
Yep, mighty fine, sir, mighty fine. I'm kind of curious about what the players feel about, their first dust storm, their first La Tormenta here in Midland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was funny. I was listening back through the stream from the Fort Worth game on my way back home. Just put it on and had my phone off to the side. I wasn't watching video driving to Midland. That's super dangerous. But I was just listening to the commentary, and it was funny because it was right at the point where they were talking about our El Destico trophy being a tumbleweed, and they were talking about I don't even know what a tumbleweed is. I haven't seen it.
Never seen it. There watching it.
I made a note in my film study about that, just saying, it's like, do they even know what a tumbleweed really is?
No, they said they didn't.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But I found that whole part pretty funny. So today we're mostly talking about the first game against the Fort Worth Vaqueros. We beat them 5-2, and we've got a lot to talk about to talk through that game. But first, want to make sure that we plug the things going on kind of between now and our very first game, very first home game against Houston. Not Houston, golly, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. So, Brian, you want to hit us up with kind of some of the things you sent something out in the Discord today, I know.
Yep, this came across today. It's the apartment complex. I believe that's a sponsor for the club this year. Let me get this up. Sorry.
Which it clearly seems the club is a huge fan. So the videos that Lucas Fenton has been posting, it looks like a sweet setup. And,
yeah, they seem
and
to
hopefully,
be for sure.
Yeah.
They're like, boys, look at the pool, look at this, look at that. Yeah, they're doing a help us cheer on the West Texas soccer team before their first home game, May 23rd, 5 to 7 p.m. It's out at, I'm trying to get this right, Residence at Midland. I don't know the exact address. I can kind of tell you how to get there. It's kind of behind.
It's close to the stadium, right?
It's real close to the stadium. So they're going to have Texas Roadhouse out there, HTO, Tall City. Be a real good time to meet up there in their little plaza area in the front and kind of check stuff out, talk to some players. So they've been a real good sponsor for the club. So might as well go out, visit, talk, hang out. It'd be a good little thing on Friday. I mean, what else we got going on? Gearing up for Sunday. So
what time is that at, Brian?
5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and La Tormenta will be in attendance. At least I will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine depends. I'm having my wisdom teeth pulled the day before, so we'll see what kind of condition I'm in.
You want to record a little bit
on being there
because that might be fun.
Yeah, I'll
record right after
for bring up for the class. So yeah, and then obviously our first home match. Make sure and be there. I've been thinking it's 7, but then I actually looked finally, and it's 6:30. So make sure that you're there early. Right, come hang out with us. We'll put out some stuff about kind of when we plan on getting out there, and we'll talk more about that. But make sure that you at least got the games set aside for Saturday. That's going to be a really, really fun time.
Got Memorial Day weekend. I mean, you're going on a Sunday to a Monday. Most people don't have to work. Let's go out. Let's turn up. Let's get loud.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So that being said, let's kind of jump into the game, guys. I want to start with just kind of some overall takeaways from the match, the big ideas. I know we've got a lot of details that we all want to cover. We've all watched the film multiple times, and there's a lot to be said, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's start just kind of real general overview. Chris, what were some of your just kind of takeaways from the match? If you could summarize kind of what you saw as a whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what I said at halftime of the game, but then also halftime it was 2-2, right? What I said at halftime and then what I still think now, just thinking about that whole game, is it feels like a first game of the season. And a game with a group of players that have only been training together for about a week. you could definitely see what they were intending to do. And obviously we scored 5 goals, which is fantastic. But early on, got caught off guard a little bit, had an early goal scored on us. There's sloppy play here and there. But you can see the intention behind the way this team's hoping to play. A lot of kind of building possession, building out of the back, nice passing. But also, it's early in the season, so we're still building some of that chemistry. So that passing wasn't always perfect, or there were balls that were lost in the midfield. So that was my one takeaway, is just like it feels like an early game, right? It's not quite settled. A lot of players are still getting adjusted, getting to know each other and how they want to play together. At the same time, there's a lot of exciting things to see here, right? And we'll talk about some specific players, some specific plays and the goals that were scored. But man, there's some exciting players on this team. And even with a little bit of that, like, okay, early, it's not quite together, you could see it. And it's like, all right, I'm excited about this player. And definitely some of those plays and goals that were scored are really good signs of what's to come.
Yeah. Brian, what'd you see?
Kind of the same thing that Chris said. I mean, we talked about at the watch party, you nailed it. You're watching a team that's played a game already play their second game versus a team that played their first game. So we had a lot of chemistry moments. You could see a little bit of some guys kind of knew each other, but the gel wasn't quite there yet. The roux wasn't ready to boil. So one thing I did see, though, is, fellas, that could have been way, way worse. I mean, they were attacking. They were striking. They were playing on the other half of the field quite a bit. Playing from the back, I really do think, with a little bit more time together, is going to get really crisp. Because, I mean, we'll talk about that in a little bit, I'm sure. Some of the dimes that were dropped out of the back, some of the runs that were made, some of the just beautiful soccer. I mean, you see why they call it the beautiful game in some of these moments. But that's my thing. It did look like a first game, but man, it could have been a lot more.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I was going to say as well, especially like you're saying, like some of those passing sequences looked really nice, right? It's to go back to what I said. I'm not saying that the game was sloppy. There were moments that just crisp passes that were splitting through the midfield, moving the ball forward really quickly, and just generally, I mean, obviously West Texas was a better team, winning 5-2, but you could also see, like I said, what they're intending to do, and a lot of the possession was really purposeful. And that's something that had me kind of feeling optimistic, is we're getting on the ball, building possession, and it was with a purpose and moving forward, which is what you always want to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. And it turned out it was kind of like, I think the first half and second half were pretty different. So I'm way interested to hear what that halftime talk was like from all of those captains, from all of those leaders, from Scotty and the rest of the coaching staff. My first takeaway actually watching the game was how much better Fort Worth looked than the first game. I mean, they really surprised me how quick they were, how much, especially the midfield. And I know the commentators were talking that I guess the first game they played with 4 midfielders. This game they chose to go with 5, and I think it was really to their credit. But my first thought was like, man, they look fast compared to the very first game. But we looked really fast. I was blown away by how quick we moved the ball, by how quick everyone was just kind of moving around. You know, when you watch Premier League day in, day out like I do, you get used to that speed. And there are other leagues, when you watch them, that aren't quite as high pace, that maybe don't have the same quality of players. I'm used to watching, different leagues and kind of getting used to a slower pace. But watching us play, and maybe it's just because I'm a fan, but it did seem just really, really quick. And I was really happy about that. I love and we'll talk more about the details of this, but I really enjoyed the kind of high risk, high reward way that we were set up. It's all about the front half of the pitch, and that puts a lot of pressure on the back, but it also has the potential for some really kind of exciting games, right? You do have the ball coming at you a lot. it takes a lot of really crazy tackles to get out of tight situations or dangerous situations, but it's because you're throwing it all out there, right? It's all gas, no brakes, right, Brian? So
Absolutely. All gas, no brakes. You got to see that out there. I mean,
yeah,
the back line got tested some, but we sure as hell tested them.
yeah.
Their keeper made some amazing saves, too, with some of the shots that came through.
I'll say both keepers.
Yes.
Like lights out, man.
Yes, sir.
Santi did really well, too.
Yeah.
But that's true. Their keeper made some really nice saves. And like you said, Brian, we could have scored several more goals. Like there were a lot of good opportunities, good chances. But their keeper played well despite the 5 goals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually a really good transition. Let's talk about a few of the players that really stood out to you. And obviously it's kind of tough on these streams to really pay attention to who's where. I had the roster up on my phone on one hand watching the game the second time, and that was really helpful. But who kind of stood out to you, Brian?
Okay. The first one that really stood out to me was number 11, Alberto de Miguel.
Yep.
If I saw this right, he started at right wing and then made his way to left wing not too far into the game. And, man, did he impress. Mm-hmm. He was all over the place. He was taking some shots, moving the ball, great passes. I really was impressed with his play. He was one of the ones that the keeper made some really amazing saves on. Really strong touch, real good movement, making guys miss, and sending the ball. I was really impressed with him. Cole Worthmuller, our Ohio guy.
That's right.
Showing out. He went and did his thing, man. Nice debut from WTXFC. And then
this is close to a hat trick, right?
Yeah, just super close.
Ain't wrong. And then I got to give props to Jasper Vandermolen.
Yeah.
The dirt work, the grit in the middle. Mm-hmm. I could nod my hat to all 11, the subs, everybody else. Everybody had moments, but those 3 right there really stood out to me in this match.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with every one of those picks. Chris, who stood out to you?
Yeah, Alberto was the same name that I was going to mention first because he had a pair of assists, and mentioning Alberto and Cole is perfect because Alberto had the assists on both of those goals that Cole had. That first goal that Cole had, Alberto picked up the ball, dribbled almost from midfield, right? Almost from the half midfield line. They gave him way too much space, but he dribbled through half their team, dribbled through 3 players, got to the end line, and then had a nice easy crossover to Cole. I'm sorry, that was the goal that Appia scored. So not the goal that.
Oh,
Cole,
that's right. Yeah,
that's the goal that Appia scored. But Alberto dribbled forward like that, got to the end line, nice, easy, simple cross to the backside where Appia was. But I was really impressed with that second assist that he had. Was coming out of the second half where he's pressuring that defender, strips it away, and just turns around and finds Cole crashing.
Yeah.
Just fantastic play because you want to see that. And I think we were talking about some of the possession that you can see this team wants to build. But at the same time, they're playing with that speed you were talking about, Luke. They're going to press, they're going to pressure, and if they have the opportunity, they'll pressure that back line. So I was also really impressed with Alberto. And then, obviously Cole getting a brace was impressive. Brian, you mentioned Jasper, and I also wanted to mention Carrick. So Carrick, Jasper, Lucas, all 3 of them playing in the middle. I think as they continue to gel and kind of that midfield kind of trio partnerships there, like they're just going to become even stronger because all 3 of them were working really hard there in the midfield. And Carrick obviously had the goal as well. So props to those midfielders.
Yeah. I love doing this because you guys mentioned, we try to keep it to not. We want to mention every player, right? Because everyone really did have a good game, and I think you could point at every single one of the guys that came out. So I love you guys taking those so that I get to mention some of the other ones. But because Alberto, Carrick, all those guys, Cole obviously, just had phenomenal games. I also want to mention Appia. Yep. Appia it just seemed every time I was like, oh, that was nice, and I'd go back just to see like kind of how it progressed, and Apia just seemed to be in the middle of all that. His goal, I thought, was remarkable. To my eye, it didn't look like an easy shot. It's bouncing at him. Those, I feel like most of the time, can go awry really easily, right? It's coming at you. He puts his foot through it and is able to kind of volley the goalkeeper. I thought that shot was incredible. And it was on the heels of Cole's shot, which was equally – I mean, I think he shot that thing from like the 20-yard line, just top corner. That was ridiculous.
How did Fort Worth give him that much space? I mean, you saw what the man did last year. You know who he is.
Yep.
You've seen that man. He's a bad man.
How many people can do that, right? Like if you and I were out there and you had like a quarter of the goal, open and the rest of it blocked off, I bet I could take 100 shots at that thing and never get close. I mean, it was a wonder shot. Yeah.
What was impressive about that goal from Cole too is the way he like created it for himself, because it came off of a pass from Apia that was a decent length. I mean, it was probably a 15, 20-yard pass from the midfield. Cole was out on the left wing, and he created it. He just drove at that defender, cut into his right foot, and just created it all himself. So he created it, and then, I mean, hell of a shot, just like you said. Strong right foot, and beyond the 18 box and just right to the upper 90 of the opposite side.
A lot of bangers in this match, man.
The other player I wanted to mention was Santi. I thought he just, even a few of the I mean, I would say maybe one actual like kind of just mistake, when I forget which defender it was passing it back to Santi, and in his blind spot, Jaramillo, I think, for Fort Worth was just read the pass and cut it off, and that moment I have a lot of sympathy, because it's like it'd be hard to see him making that run, and it was really good play on their part. And I think the reason that he shot that wide is because Santi had the whole thing covered. Yeah. I mean, I think he saved our bacon there. You kind of go, hey, man, it's all right. That's why we're a team and it's not one guy. I thought the defense overall had a fantastic game. I really did. I think that's a lot to ask those guys. And I thought they handled the pressure really well. And honestly, there's something about the confidence of some of the passing and things. But Santi was asked to play a defender role a lot of the game. He was way outside the box and having to do a lot of work himself. So definitely want to call him, and an honorable mention, because he didn't get a lot of playing time, but Kenny Hakazimana looked crazy. I mean, that assist he had, and I love the way he assisted the ball and then immediately drove right towards the middle of the box. Didn't even have a second thought about it, right? I just love that kind of midfield play where you're not thinking about the pass you just made. By the time it hits your foot, you're already on to the next thing. And I thought that was a really, really good cameo on his part. So anyone else that you guys want to kind of call out? I mean, obviously, I think the whole team, I hate not mentioning somebody, but
let's be fair on the defense. I mean, they played a really great match. There's one of the goals, suspect offsides. You can't really tell with the camera angle. That thing's on a tripod VHS. It's moving this way.
Right.
And sorry, Fort Worth. I mean, it's better than what Arkansas put out this weekend. But so we look back, and there's one that's a very suspect offsides there. There had a couple other ones that were, they got some shots in, but still, man, we had faith in our back line. We had faith in Santi back there. I will say, when the subs started coming in, I saw Defoe, Marcel. He had a really good when he came on the pitch.
He was easy to spot out there, too.
He was.
Not hard to see. They're like, what is it, playoff season? I was like, come on, man. That's an old 90s thing. There's a Gabo Villafan. He came on really strong.
I agree.
And let's talk about the other guy profile that scored. Kanata Tiara. I mean, did you see? I mean, that dude just came on just full of like piss and vinegar, man. Like, I'm just going to do something. I'm going to get a card. I'm going to score a goal. I'm going to do something. I love when guys come off the bench and they're like, all right, this is my shot. Let's go. I'm bouncing. Let's go.
But, and that was good play, too, between him and Kenny, how they crossed one another. And it created an opportunity where it was a great shot, and obviously he had the talent and confidence to be able to hit that and hit it in. But he also had Kenny wide open in the middle, and so it's just creating those opportunities. But yeah, what a game!
That was a
Shuto
lot of fun to
Ishikawa
watch.
too. His Japanese
Yeah, Shuto
compatriot
played
had
really well,
a
too.
unbelievable game. I really thought. I just love our whole team. It's just like
I can't
just
wait to
want to
see
mention every single one.
this week because think about the gel that's going in this week.
Mm-hmm.
Think about I know just insider information. They're doing film study. So after film study tonight, what are they seeing? What are they going to do? Who knows how many of these dudes are going to start the same lineup next week?
Yeah.
Right.
Who knows if we don't have some other guys flying in this week?
Yeah, we saw a bunch of them at the watch party who had arrived late and weren't really quite available yet. So it's exciting to know who's going to be playing, or exciting to find out who's going to be playing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So for you guys, what was kind of if you had to pick one thing, right? One biggest pro, one biggest con. What would those be? Chris, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say two things that seem like complete opposites, but they kind of go together. And again, goes back to the point I made earlier about this is an early season game, a team that's just getting started. But the first pro, with that in mind, is this team played with a lot of composure. But we were talking about them playing out of the back, playing, passing out of the back and that sort of thing. They always seemed calm on the ball, and they seemed ready to kind of play in that style of building possession and moving forward in that way. And they were playing nice passes a lot of the time. And so I just felt like they played with a lot of composure. And thinking about that composure too, like we were talking about Santi, right? And there was an early goal scored right at 5 minutes, scored first by West Texas. Immediately, within the next minute, we almost scored a goal.
Yeah, right off
After that, Fort Worth came right back, and Santi made a great save. Or it came out and cleared a breakaway. So he didn't get rattled by giving up an early goal. So I felt like there was a sense of just composure and calmness that I was happy to see this early in the season. So that was definitely a pro. Con, there are some early season little mistakes. And probably the biggest is that second goal from Fort Worth. That was a goal, like we said, maybe a questionable offsides. But what I didn't love seeing is that it was a goal that was sandwiched by 2 yellow cards by us, right?
Yep.
That came off of a free kick that got recycled, and the free kick was a result of simulation. And then afterwards, the goal was scored. Maybe it was offsides, but then there was a yellow card for dissent. And those are the types of little things where, going back to that composure, you just got to keep your composure and not get those silly little yellow cards or free kicks and that sort of thing. So I think that's the type of thing that we want to clean up as the season progresses forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think both those are fair points. I think the first goal from Fort Worth that's just a great goal. I mean, there's not. I think there's probably the coach obviously probably has some ways you can look at that, but that's one you're like, man, credit to them. That's a tough one. I do think the second one was avoidable. I mean, by people who are much more talented than I am. I'm the armchair coach or armchair player, but I totally agree with both of your points. And the composure was something that I noted down too, was just going down 1-0. What was it, like 5 minutes? And just kind of going, all right. It's almost like we just know we're going to win the game. So, but it's like, oh, there goes a clean sheet. I guess we'll win without a clean sheet. But I did really appreciate that from our guys.
Yep.
How about you, Brian?
I think both of mine are passing, pro and con. I made a big deal about passing with purpose. And, man, you saw some dudes drop some dimes. Beautiful, beautiful balls. From the back to the front, switch the field, in space, playing the ball out, crosses, smart flat crosses, throwback crosses. I mean, the unselfishness was there. You saw it. A lot of good ball movement around. And again, we had some suspect passing from the back that almost gave out a goal. But then right the next play, dime out.
Yep.
So, I mean, what was Pape Gaya? How do I say that right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's the guy right there. Saw him, make a mistake. Guess what? Made up for it. Boom. Hey, all sins
And then did it again. Then did it again. And did it again. Did it.
So,
what a player, man.
So that's one thing is you're seeing a con of the inexperience of not playing with each other. You're also, I mean, look, y'all pointed that out. The yellow cards are going to be a problem. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm as passionate as the next one. Y'all know. Y'all send me out there. But some of these things are avoidable. I mean,
fortunately, it was only those two, though. But it was right there when a goal happened. But, yeah, agreed. They're avoidable.
If there'd have been a 1-0 match right there, then what? Mm-hmm. We ain't coming home with 3.
Yep.
I mean, 1-1, that's a 1-pointer. Mm-hmm. We need all the points we can get.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying Fort Worth was easy. I mean, you're going to have a fist fight for everybody we got going forward. I mean, there's 4 more home matches for us. Or, sorry, excuse me, there are, 9 total matches left. We have a 10-game season. Every one of them should be a fist fight. Hell, 2 of them against our rival from up north.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, do you know those are going to be a fist fight? You can't have that. I don't care what they say or what they do at that point. So, look, I expect that to get cleaned up. Play with some passion. I get it. Get you a tactical card from here to there. I get it. But, man, we can't just keep popping off on stuff like that. Get back in the game, make up a play, just like they did there. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I really feel like we can do that. We have the talent, the skill level, from the starters to the guys coming off the bench.
Right. Yeah, and it is the nature of the yellow cards, right? The sometimes when you're in a really physical game, things happen, and you fair yellow cards that you just go, man, he's trying to make a challenge.
Yep.
It wasn't a great one, but you'd rather him try to get it clean and then maybe take a yellow for that. Yeah, things like that. But I mean, I'm sure as soon as these guys, that happens, I could see it seemed like it was like, oh man, that wasn't the best move, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, I have a question, guys, and y'all may know this and I don't. Do cards stack in this league, like in some? I don't think they do.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, because I mean that's one thing you got to consider as well. Because if a card stack, then you got to be real careful in this next match on what you're doing.
And if they do stack, what's the number? Because with a season this short, I don't know how they would count those.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know that answer, so I'm sure I'll look that up for the next one. So I'll bring that answer back, or one of us will. Mm-hmm. Just because I would hate for that to be just a real easy yellow in the beginning. Say, hey, go sit down. I said, what the heck? What happened?
Yeah. I mean, certainly, especially when it's a defender, I think that just puts something in the back of your head, right? And it's true for the midfield too, because they're fighting just as hard as those guys at the back. But I think it definitely, the psychological impact can be big. Obviously, if you get anyone who doesn't know, if you get 2 yellow cards in a game, that's a red card. That means that person is gone for the rest of that game, and you play man down, and they have to sit out some games. So that would be devastating, right? So I definitely agree with both of those. I think for my biggest pro, it totally was the style of play, just overall. I thought the way the coaches have set up this attack and the players that they brought in to do it, because, you see teams that try to play that way and don't have the squad to do it, right? Spurs fans will know what I'm talking about, right? And it's unfortunate because you see it's so exciting to watch, but it makes you leaky at the back if you don't have the defensive mindset and if you don't have the legs. And so I think we've got the combination of the style of play and the players who can pull it off. I firmly believe that after just watching one match. I think the recipe is there. And I think the coaching staff deserves big credit, because I think the shift that really kind of starts happening around the 15-minute mark was a formational one. And I think that was something that they realized they can shift a few players around and be able to attack in a different way, and it just opened up the Fort Worth defense to how wide we were playing. I mean, we made that pitch huge, and that was tough to deal with, and we were playing too fast. You can't, what do you do with a team that's that spread out, but it's just doop, 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 doop,
Yeah.
going all over the place, one touch passing, and then every finish just clinical. I mean, like even the shots where we made the keeper make some unbelievable saves. I think there was one that Appia shot, and he was going off to celebrate. While the ball's in midair, because he's just like, that's in. And then the keeper just got fingertips on it, sent it wide, and you could see him like, how did you get to that? And I was saying the same thing, like, how did that guy block that? But the setup, I'm a really big fan of.
Yep.
So the biggest con, I think, is just consistency. I think every single player on the pitch, I saw way, way, way more positive than negative.
Yep.
That goes for every single one of the 11. And all of the subs, too. I was equally impressed with the subs. And I think it's just, I saw what that team's capable of, and then it seemed like a few just miscommunication. It's the first game for a lot of these guys playing together. You saw a lot of talking in a really healthy way. It wasn't fighting or anything. It was like all right, we got to figure this out. Yeah. Okay. Now we know what to do next time. And so I really loved that aspect of it, but I think I'm ready for that consistency, and I think that takes time, and I'm not too worried about it. But I had to come up with a con, and I was mostly just stoked by this game. So it was like that we didn't play 90 minutes of that like gorgeous football that we played for most of the match.
Yeah, the con is that it wasn't perfect, right? It needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
The con is the amount of sideline room you have in Fort Worth. I mean, come on, guys. That is the most narrow damn field I think I've ever seen. I mean, they've got this much room for you to do a throw-in. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely saw way more positive than negative. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm curious for you guys, because I walked away ready to see our second match, because I think a lot like Fort Worth, I think our second match is going to be wildly different than the first one, just because it's the first time for these guys to be out on the pitch together. What's a question that you're anxious to see answered on the pitch on Saturday, home against Oklahoma?
Well, which one's legit? Us or Oklahoma? We both put 5 on Fort Worth. All right. Like I talked about in the podcast last week. All right. We're pretty square up right now. We had a goal get in extra, but I think we're looking toe-to-toe, eye-to-eye at this point. We're standing there chest out. It's time to prove who's the baddest dude on the block. So, and you only do that by knocking one down at a time. And right now, Oklahoma's next. They're standing in front of us. Let's see, are we going to come out with the resolve? Are we going to come out fiery? Are we going to come out hungry? Are we going to try to live on last week's success? Let's see what kind of players we got. Because, I mean, last year something that bit us in the butt was coming off that Lubbock win, 3-1 early. We went to Denton and got embarrassed. I mean, almost 3-0. If it wasn't for a 90th minute, shot, would have been 3-0. They learned something in that moment. There's a whole different group of people, though, I think. I think Scotty's going to have them ready to rock and roll. They're going to understand the task at hand. This is home. Oklahoma's coming to see us. It's a long way from Fort Worth. It's going to be hot, probably going to be windy. You're going to have us, La Tormenta, out there supporting. So I'm excited to see. Let's see the separate. Let's see who's going to stand up and do this thing. Let's see who on our squad is going to be the one that separates and says, yeah, I'm going to take control. Let's get us up here. Let's go do the thing.
Yep.
Love that. Love that. I think that's true. And it is interesting that the score lines were so similar.
Very close.
I'll throw out again, being the armchair analyst, I don't think we played the same team.
No, sir, we did not.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma, if they watch that game and don't say the exact same thing and go, hey, we're not going to mess around. We watched, we played it, and we watched. We know exactly kind of what to expect.
Yeah. How many times did the announcers from Fort Worth say that? Said, this is not the same team. This is not the same team. And it wasn't.
Yep.
From what I saw in the film to there, they played with some passion. I mean, they found their little groove. They found some gel. Guess what? It's our week 2 too.
Right.
Let's go.
Right. And the 5-2 we have to remember at halftime you look at that result and you go, wow, we crushed them. Halftime, it didn't feel like we were crushing them, right?
No.
At halftime, there was still some edge to it, and we came out the second half and did our work, but it wasn't a clean game, and so I think that'll be with those players too. That halftime.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think a question that I have goes back to what you were kind of describing a minute ago, Luke, about just that style of play. And that style of play, building out of the back. We talked about earlier how far forward Santi was at times, which was like, great, you've got this extra player in possession. But also it was like making me kind of nervous at times too. You got your goalkeeper up outside of the 18. But I think how we play, and especially how we play out of the back, is probably going to depend on the matchup. Depend on who our opponent is, what the coaching staff is able to see from them from previous games. I didn't watch that Oklahoma-Fort Worth game, so it'll be interesting, like, how does Oklahoma come out and play? And then how does the coaching staff get West Texas ready? Are we going to play kind of in that same way? Or what will it look like? What types of adjustments will happen? Because it worked pretty well, right? There were maybe a couple of errors here and there in passing, but for the most part, that playing out of the back, that passing out of the back, looked clean. As I said earlier, it was like they were calm and composed, so that looked like it was like pretty smooth. So I would hope that they keep with that, but I imagine it'll just depend on matchups as well.
Right. Yeah, there's no action without an equal and opposite reaction, right? Part of the excitement in our attacking third is balanced by the amount of anxiety we have when it's in our defensive third. And that's not a discredit to our team. It's not a discredit to the setup or anything. That is the setup, right?
Yeah.
It's high risk and high reward. And with that, you have a bit more edge because your keeper is, way outside the 18 because he has to be, because the defense is up there trying to make sure that they don't get on our half of the pitch. And if they do, it's a scramble, right? It's intense and it's quick. Mm-hmm. And so I love that. I love that style of play, but it's exhausting.
It can be nervy sometimes.
No, I don't. You ain't wrong. You definitely ain't wrong. Because there's been too many options. Like, look, you see the ball go over the head of the keepers all the time. Long balls, just oh look, there's a goal from midfield or farther. Hell, we got one last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it'd be interesting to see if they switch the entire style of play up for this match. Like, just pulled the whole different thing out. Because, to be honest, look at the guys we have, man. How many styles of play do you think we can play? Really and truly.
Yep.
Pick one. Is there anything we can't do?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Don't know yet.
After profiling it, all the players, that was something that kept coming up, right? It seems like we got the whole, whatever you want to put out on the pitch, we've got the ingredients, right? And what a awesome place to be a coach, who really knows how to utilize that, which I believe Scotty and his team totally are.
And to make that point about, you saw the adjustment, like you said, about 15 minutes in. Fort Worth noticed too. Their announcers brought it up. Really, I got a comment, commend them. That was a really great announcing on their end. They were really good at that part. But when you saw that shift and we just said, let's change that. Mm-hmm. And look what happened. And the subs that were made, we had a couple of injury subs that had to come out and things like that, but the guys that they put in filled a hole and brought a different little something. So I'm excited to see what this coaching staff will do. Because, we only have 1 week of film on Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. So, same with us. There's no telling what they bring. There's no telling what we're bringing. So
that's right.
Let's see what happens.
And that feeds right into my question, which is just we've seen one game, right? And it's easy to think like, all right, that's our team. But that's just not how it works, right? That's the beginning, right? That's the prologue. You're not even into the book yet, right? You just read the dedication, right? Mm-hmm. And so the question that I have is, who is West Texas FC 2025, right? Mm-hmm. I got a flavor of it, and it was exciting. It's like the best damn dedication I've ever read in any book ever, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to really get into the first chapter. And I think this first home game will really tell us a lot about just who our team is, right? From a kind of overall vibe, from a character level, what do we have in the arsenal this year? Because I think we'll see a lot more of it and start to build an identity for this particular squad.
Absolutely.
I got to give a bonus question as well. Just tack another question. And going back for you guys, but also other La Tormenta members saw before this match, we asked the question on our Discord, in our chant app. We asked who's going to score the first goal of the West Texas 2025 season, right? Brush my shoulder off. I picked Cole, right? Well done, Cole.
Well done, Cole.
Most of us did not.
I went with the Vegas odds.
Cole got the brace. And so here's my other question, and hopefully the boys are listening to this. My other question is who's gonna get the first hat trick of the season as well? Because Cole was this close. That
header was a laser beam, man. It was so good.
Potential goal, that diving header that he scored, and then it was called off. I mean, Cole was so close. And so, not saying it's going to happen in this next game, but I know it's going to happen. We saw it, as you said, in this prologue to the season in this first match. We've got the guys who can do it. We've got the firepower. So that's my other question is, who's going to score the first hat trick for this squad in 2025?
Ooh. Man, I don't even know. I mean, like, I saw so many guys out on the pitch capable of it, right? And we saw so many shots get saved by really good saves. I mean, it's like, I think you'd be picking from like 6 or 7 guys.
There's a bunch of guys who could do it.
As much as I want to say Cole, just something in my bones says Dave Miguel. Just something in what I saw. Just, I don't know. Hell, he may get the hat trick assists, the 3 assists. I don't know. But I don't know, man. That's again, we have so much talent in so many places. The smart money would be Apia or Cole now. You're probably running 50-50 Vegas odds, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. But watch Gareth Bale Light coming up from the middle.
Somebody's just going to come in and surprise us too.
Lucas messed me up on that. I can't help that. He did that. Lucas Fenton had him on a Pure Green, and he was asking him a question. Said, "Gareth Bale, what's your opinion?" And I can't get that out of my head.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just so many good options for an answer to that. And actually, I was curious if you guys had any update. I believe it was Caio Pereira came off with an injury, it looked like, in the Fort Worth game. Have you guys heard any updates on him?
I've got nothing yet. I'll try to get a follow-up, hopefully by the next time we talk, to get some info there to see what's happening. Of course, the club may be keeping it close to the vest. It may have been lighter than we thought. Don't know.
Sure.
If it was me, I'd be playing tactics all week long.
Right. Well, and it definitely looked like it was either some fatigue going on or I mean, whenever someone goes down holding a muscle, especially kind of the groin or the hamstring or anything like that, and it looked like he was kind of holding his inner thigh. And so I was just like, and man, Caio had such a good game up to that point that I was devastated.
Yep.
Maybe they'll comment on a post or something and we can send that in the Discord. But I hope he's all right, man, because he looked like a strong asset to have on the team. I'm looking at my notes here. Carrick took a shot to the face. I hope he's doing okay. He kept on playing, but he had to come off, and he wasn't happy about it. I love it.
No.
Like, someone's bleeding on the pitch, and they're like, man, just let me play.
Pitch back together. Let me go.
Yeah. So, any other takeaways, guys, that we hadn't gotten to, or that any of these questions covered? I mean, it's almost hard. You could almost spend 90 minutes, which is what we're going to do on Saturday, is spend 90 minutes screaming our heads off and chatting about the game. So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, anything else that y'all can think of or wanted to mention?
Nothing else from this game. Just excited for this weekend. And I think, did you say Saturday? Or is it Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh, sorry, I did say Saturday.
That's okay.
Sunday.
I just want to make sure I have it right in my head
that
as well. But yeah, I'm just excited for this weekend. So a lot,
Yeah.
Plenty that we could say about this game, this past game, plenty that we have, but stoked to see them in person. Really excited for a home game. So just can't wait to see these guys play live and play here in Midland.
Yeah, one thing I did have here was 16 countries represented by West Texas FC. I think that's really huge.
Yeah.
Midland, Odessa, Texas, that's a big deal. And really proud of every single one of them that's here. So it's going to be great.
And that wouldn't be anywhere near possible without people like Melissa, people like Jason and Melina.
Yep.
We have to really just kind of like, God bless you. Thank you so much for bringing this to our doorstep, that we get, this. We keep talking about this embarrassment of riches. It's just like someone just throwing all the gold down on the ground going, here you go,
Yep. And Scotty's recruiting tactics, whatever he did, I think he did something good.
Yeah.
I mean, the man was traveling the world there for a while. He brought a lot of talent in.
No joke. And it's a big credit to him and the rest of the coaching staff, too, that they're able to attract these guys because I guarantee, a bunch of them know him, right? And I'm sure you guys have had coaches in the past where you're like, if that guy called me, I wouldn't even answer the phone.
Yeah.
Much less say, yeah, sure, I'll, haul myself across the world to come play for 3 months in a town I've never heard of.
But I've also had the other ones that said, I'll go through a wall for you. Whatever you ask, I'm doing it.
That's right.
So,
That's right. And they were running through the wall, man.
They ran through anybody, everybody, the sideline. I mean, hey, I think a ball boy even caught one on accident over there by, just an errant little send-off for a clear.
That's true, and it looked like there was some words exchanged off pitch. So I wish I would have been in the grounds to hear that whole exchange. But yeah, the one that comes to mind is Ishikawa. He got up from some tackles that I was like, well, there he goes, and then he's up. He's like, okay, back at it.
Yeah.
I love that grit.
Yeah. I mean, when he bumped off the ground, that was a tough one. When he took that one on the back, rolled around a little bit. I've been there. Do I get up or do I stay down? No, got to get up now. Got to get up. Oh. Yeah, but he powered through, man. I loved it. You saw some resolve and a little bit of grit from some of the guys out there.
Yeah, so a lot to look forward to on Sunday. A lot of people have Monday off. I mean, what a time to have a late Sunday game when you don't got to wake up and go to work the next day. You can experience it in its full glory, right?
And what a week of matches we got, though. We got 2 more matches that week, 2 away matches. So we just had a really sweet little watch party. There'll be 2 more piggybacking off of that one. I think it's Thursday and Saturday, if I have that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But had a really solid turnout. Expect to have a bigger turnout for the next couple rounds. Let's support the boys at home, support them while they're away. Let's have a good time doing it. I mean, it was real fun to walk in. I got there late, and of course, walk in, see the house full, see the TVs are rolling, Tall City's treating us nice. The squad's there, players are there. I mean, it was just so nice. From where we started, from like 2 of us in the corner over there. Can you turn it up just a little bit? But no, we're all in now, baby. Let's go.
Tall City were great hosts too. Like you said, they had
the popcorn bar was smashing, man.
Popcorn bar. They had the sound for us. They were great hosts.
Yeah, big shout out to Tall City. They've been such a good partner for the club since its inception as West Texas FC, and they've just turned it up every single year. And obviously this year even, cranked it up exponentially higher. And so it just feels so good to have so many more people in on it, because I know the early days we were a very passionate few, but there's something about like getting to see something grow like that. And it's still small enough that like you get to talk to these guys, you get to know the players, you get to meet the owners, you get to talk to Melissa, you get to hear this insider stuff, not because you're privileged in some way. It's just, this is our community team and they are part of our community and we know about our community. And so I hope that appeals to people. It appeals to me, at being a lifelong soccer fan. I don't have access to, Jurgen Klopp and Virgil van Dijk, but here I have that. And it means more, because I have that.
Yeah. Local soccer, man. Local soccer is just the best thing because it brings everybody together. There's that passion and just like we've said before, it's just something to be proud of in your community. So it's fun to see the people who were there at the watch party, the people who are going to be there in the stadium, and just see more and more fans coming out.
Dude, can't wait. This is our time to shine, baby. This is what y'all going to be on for. This is it. This is how we turn into this motley crew that we are.
That's right.
That's right. We're going to be there early. We're going to be loud, and we're going to stay late. win, lose, or draw, whatever happens, we're there supporting West XFC and these boys, these fellas that are out here.
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to it. Got my flag ready. I'm going to go get the iron out, press it out a little bit. Going to get my game day best on, load up the cooler, roll out, and let's see something magical happen on Sunday.
Yep.
Gents, I will see you there, and I will be there with bells on.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. Ring-a-ling. Let's go.
All right, so Sunday, we'll see you at the stadium. Be there early, but don't be late. And come sit with us in the Tormenta section. We've kind of on the Discord had a few chants going, but we'll learn them as we go, and we're just going to plan on having a great time.
Yep. We'll make it happen from the stands, man. We got some real good stuff going on there. And, hey, let's get another W, another 3 points.
That's right.
Bring it home.
And look forward to future episodes. You know, we've been talking to different people involved with the club, and we're going to be having some guests on occasion. So hopefully you'll get the insider information just on your phone while you're at work working on spreadsheets. So be listening for those. But until then, gents, I will see you guys on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.